Hi everyone. In this live session, we are going to solve fractions easily with two different tricks. Okay, let's start with question number 1. Suppose if we have a question like this. Okay, so question number 1 says if we have 1/3 plus 3/8 minus 2/3 times 1/6. Okay, so how are we going to solve this? I'll show you two different ways to solve this question. The first way is you try to take the LCM. When there's additions and subtractions, you take the LCM. If there's multiplications or divisions, no need to take the LCM. So what are we going to do? We're going to take the LCM for 3 and 8. And how do we find the LCM? It's the least common multiple, the smallest common multiple between 3 and 8 times table. Okay, now let's say the multiples of 3. So you have, suppose now you can use division method also. This is how you can do it. So we have the division line, and then we take the least possible number which is divisible by the numbers here. Suppose we are taking 3 first. 3 ones 3, and you have 8. 8 will go with 8 only. So you have 3 times 8 as the LCM, and that's equal to 24. Okay, now let's write down, make the denominators as 24. 24 plus 24. So now you have changed from 3 to 24. What can you do? You have to multiply by 8 to get a 24 here. So the same thing has to be multiplied here. 1 times 8 is 8. Plus you have 8 times 3. So here 3 times 3 gives you 9. So you have 9. And 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 over 24. Okay, this part you have solved. You got 17 over 24. Now let me show you other way around. This was using LCM. You have taken out LCM here. LCM of 3 and 8 is 24. You have made the denominator same. Basically, why we are finding out LCM? Because the denominators are not same here. You need to make the denominators same so that you can add the numerators easily, directly. So you can add the numerators directly if your denominators are same. For that sake, we are finding out LCM. Okay, now other way around is the same question. I'm going to write that here. 1/3 plus 3/8. So you have 1/3 plus 3/8. This is called as butterfly method. Now in this method, in this trick, what do we do is we make a bubble around the first number and the second number of the second fraction and multiply them. 8 times 1 is 8, write it here. Then we make the second bubble around the second number of the first fraction and first number of the second fraction. 3 times 3 is 9, write it down. And there's a plus sign in between. 8 plus 9 gives you 17. Or just multiply the denominators. 8 times 3 is 24. So that's your answer. What you got here using the LCM, what you got using the butterfly. Basically, when you don't have time, you have to do quick calculations, you can use butterfly method. This is called as butterfly method. Okay, now let's move on to our question. So we had 1/3 plus 3/8 minus 2/3 times 1/6. So let us solve 2/3 times 1/6. So we have this one, we got 17 over 24. Let me write down. Then we have minus 2/3. We have 2/3 times 1/6. And how do you multiply two fractions? Just multiply the numerators. 2 times 1. Let me write this down again. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 6 is 18. But here what are we going to do? We can simplify inside. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So you are left with 1 over 3 times 3 is 9. So you have the denominator of 9, and instead of 2, you'll have 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So now you have 17 over 24. Let me write that down again. 17 over 24 minus 1 over 9. Now for 17 over 24, now what is the LCM for 24 and 9? How do you find the LCM for 24 and 9? Is equal to 72. So now let's make the denominators equal to 72. 72 and 72. 72 minus, and again you have 72. Now 24 times what gives you 72? 24 times 3 gives you 72. So what is 17 times 3? Same thing, you have to multiply, that's 51. Minus 9 times 8 gives you 72. So 1 times 8. So you have 51 minus 8, that's equal to 43 over 72. Done. That's your answer. Okay. So this is how you have solved first question using two methods, two ways. Let's see another question. Now the second question says you have 3/4 times 1/4 times 2/3. Alright, in this question there's multiplication, so you can directly multiply. Is that right? 3 times 2 gives you 6. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48. So let's see. We can multiply and write the answer and then reduce it to a lowest fraction. Yes, we can even do that. So I'm going to show you two ways in this question. Okay, you can do the same question in two ways. The first way is you can multiply all the three of them. 1, 2, 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Write down 6. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48. Now you can reduce it to a lowest fraction. Just divide numerators and denominators by same number. Whatever you're dividing, you have to divide by the same number. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 48 divided by 2 is 24. Now you're left with 3 over 24. Again, you can divide it by 3. Yes, both are divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So your answer is 1/8 using this method. You have reduced it to a lowest fraction. You've solved it and then you've reduced it to a lowest fraction. Now other way around is, let me show you one more way to do that. The same thing. Okay, so the question was 3/4, 1/4 and 2/3. Okay, now in this question what I'm going to, in this method what I'm going to do is just cancel out. Whenever I have multiplications and between them, I can cancel out the numerators and denominators. It simplifies my answer. 3 times 3 times. Now 2 times 1, 2 times 2. So I'm only left with 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is 8 and I'm done. In the second method, I just got the answer in one single step. That's how we can do fractions. You can simplify there itself. No need to reduce it to a lowest fraction and nothing. But this is only possible, the crossing out is only possible when you have multiplications. Okay, let's try another question. So now we have question number 3. Question number 3 says if you have 1/6 times 1/3 plus 1/4 times 1/3. Okay, so there's multiplication first according to PEMDAS or BODMAS. We are going to solve the parenthesis first and then exponents, multiplications and divisions, and then additions and subtractions. So now here we are going to solve this parenthesis first. 1/6 times 1/3. So it's 1 over 18. Just multiply the numerators and denominators. Now here 1 times 1, 1. 4 times 3, 12. Now what's the LCM for 18 and 12? It's 36. So just write down 36 and 36. 18 times what gives you 36? 18 times 2. So let's multiply times 2 in numerator. 2. 12 times 3. So 1 times 3. So you have 3. Now 2 plus 3 is just 5. 5/36 is your answer. Okay, let me show you one more problem on this. Suppose you have, okay, question number 4. You have 1/6 plus 1/3 minus 5/8 times 7/8. Okay, now how are we going to solve this? The numbers look really different, and to solve this is not that easy. Now let's see what happens. You have 1/6 plus 1/3. You can even try out with LCM, or you can use butterfly method. Let me use the butterfly method. So what I'm going to do in this 1/6 plus 1/3, just going to make the cross bubbles. That's the cross multiplication. 3 times 1 is 3, and then 6 times 1 is 6. Add them up, and 6 plus 3 is 9. Multiply the denominators. 6 times 3 is 18. So you have 9/18, which can be reduced to just divide both sides, both the numerators and denominators, by 9. 9 divided by 9 gives you 1. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So your answer here is 1/2. Now you have 1/2 for this one, minus you have 5. Now when there's multiplication, you directly multiply the things. 5 times 7, 35. 8 times 8, 64. Done. Now you have 2 1/2, and you have 35/64. So what's the LCM? Or you can even use the butterfly method again. No need to take out the LCM, because the LCM will be 192 and it's large. Okay, let's try out the butterfly method again. So you have 1 times 64, that gives you 64. Okay, 2 times 35 is 70. So you have 64 minus 70, that gives you -6/64 times 2 is 128. Now reduce it to a lowest fraction. Divide both sides by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, minus 3. 128 divided by 2 is 64. So you're left with -3/64. Okay, let's see one more question on this. Okay, now there's one more question which I'll show you another way round to solve fractions. The question goes on like this. You have 5/8 plus 3/5 divided by 1/5. Now you have additions and divisions together. So how do you solve this? Whenever you have to check according to PEMDAS and BODMAS. How is that possible? So according to PEMDAS, it says parentheses or brackets first. So we have to solve these two fractions first, and then goes exponents and divisions and multiplications. So now let's solve for this one. So you use your cross multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. 8 times 3 is 24. Add them up. 25 plus 24 is 49. Then multiply the denominators. 8 times 5 is 40. So you have this, you have solved this parenthesis. Now you have divided 1/5. What are you going to use? KFC. KFC. Keep the first fraction, 49/40. Flip the second fraction, 5/1. Change the signs from division to multiplication. Done. Now I told you can simplify when there is multiplication. I can cross out things from numerator and denominator. So I have 5 divided by 5, that's 1. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So I'm left with 49/8, and that's my answer. Done. Okay, so hopefully we'll end up the session here. Hope you liked it. Thank you for joining, and do leave a comment in the comment box if you want to suggest anything. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.